Hello. This is a little reflection. I had a birthday recently, and I've been mulling doing a video about the Washington Post uh, for quite a while, and also my loyalties, and where my loyalties lie, and that I think I try to, I think I'm a loyal person. Anyway, there's a lot of things that have changed with one more birthday and things that I've noticed over the years. I used to buy a lot of albums, a lot of music. And for example, there was a place that I used to go frequently called Tower Records. They had a huge selection of every kind of music you could imagine. And I like every kind of music you could imagine. They went out of business. And then last Christmas or the Christmas before, I don't know, last year was kind of like a blank. Um, I went to Borders Books where they used to have the last remaining decent selection, um, and I lost another record store a couple of years ago. So I was loyal to my record stores, loyal to the places that I would go, and they're all going one at a time. I used to drive Dodge muscle cars in Plymouth. I liked Dodge Charger. I drove I had a 1967 Plymouth GTX I loved. Wonderful car. I had a couple of Barracudas, lots of different Dodges and Plymouths. So I'm very loyal to my muscle cars and to those kind of cars, the Dodge and Plymouth. I go to the same pizza place every Tuesday because they give a discount, and frankly, I get the same toppings every week too. It's despite the toppings they have, it's hard to switch to something. So I'm very loyal. I walk in, and the first thing the guys making the pizzas, hey Mike, they know, because I'm that loyal. And the Washington Post, even though I can't get to read the whole thing every day, I get it in paper form where I can touch it and fold it. Um, there you go, right at my fingertips, and I carry it around in my back pocket. Some people even know me to have. One guy will tell me every time I come in, I got a handful of newspaper folded up in my back pocket in case I have to wait. So I'm loyal to my Washington Post. I know all my authors. I know the guys in the sports, the uh, the movie reviewers, the book reviewers. I don't read a lot of book. I don't read books, but I read a whole lot of book reviews, and I know all the guys and the ladies who write for those particular things. I read the comics, a couple of comics, the commentaries, the front page. And this is my quibble. I can't tell with the Washington Post who unequivocally are the conservative writers. Now, I like to think that I'm hard to put into one category. Um, I vote I do vote one tend to vote one party line, but I don't agree with everything that the Republicans say. I don't agree with everything the Democrats say. I have a fair amount of conservative values. I have some liberal values. I don't in other words, I have my opinions on a lot of different things. So I'm not straight down the line uh, on any one category. So I like to be open minded and I want to hear. Tell me the truth. I just want the truth. A few other things about me. I've come to believe that God exists. It took me a while, but I left the church. I came back. And when I came back, I had to make it my own. I had to really start from scratch. I came to believe there was a historical man, God man named Jesus, who came, who died, who rose, which makes him a different kind of man than anybody else. And that if he said he was the Son of God and he did the things that he did and said the things he did and raised people from the dead and forgave sins, he probably was who he said he was, which is the Son of God, which means there's probably a God to be son of. So I have a I try to be strong in my Catholic faith. I believe that if you work hard, you have a good chance of succeeding in this country. Of course, there's always luck required, But the more you learn, the more you read, the more you can be of service to people. And the more you can be of service, the better chance you have of getting a job or helping in an organization. The more you read, the more you know. If you get a trade, if you get a degree, if you master a skill, you're going to have a better chance in this world. In this, particularly in this country, I've come to believe that. I think, obviously, I'm not a soldier, but I think that in the army, probably a guy doesn't care if you're black or white or purple or what you are or what you think. If you're behind him, as long as you've got his back, I suspect that he doesn't really care, which is I think, a really nice thing about, I guess, the military, is that I think they call them a band of brothers, and I think that's probably accurate. If you're on a team, a sports team, the same thing. I don't think you care what the guy next to you is, as long as he's qualified to be there. You want to win. If you're the coach, you want to put the best people in. If you're on a team, you want the other guys that are going to do the job. If they do their job and you do your job, you're going to win. And that's the point of sports, I think, is to try to work together as a team. And when you work together, if the car is built properly, the spark plugs are firing, everything is set right, it works right. If the team, all the members of the team are working right, it doesn't matter who they are or what, as long as they work right, the team will probably succeed. I believe that I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. And when I've made mistakes, I don't look and say it's the government's fault or it's his fault or that group's fault. I make mistakes, and when I make mistakes, they're my mistakes. And that's why things go wrong for me, usually when I don't do things the best way I should. And I think if each one of us are honest and we look at our lives and make an assessment, we'll notice that we put a lot less effort into things than we really think we do. I know I do. And I think the first thing someone would say is, you put a lot of effort, and your first gut response is, oh yeah, I work really hard. But if you honestly assess your life and you look, how hard have you really, if you're not succeeding or are succeeding, how hard are you really trying? Are you really putting in the effort, or do you just think you're putting in the effort? Do an honest assessment. Look, I also believe that some people are going to win, some people are going to lose. Some people are going to suffer in this earth. It's going to happen no matter what, no matter how much taxes you take from this group or that group, no matter how much you do, there's always going to be people who suffer. There's roughly 8 billion people in this world, right? So just do the math. Do the math. You can't have 8 billion people who are all living wonderful lives, everyone with bellies full, no one ever gets diseases. Everyone's going to experience, I believe, struggles, whether you're rich or poor. Our loved ones are going to die. We're going to get sick. Someone's going to get injured. It doesn't matter how much money you've got in the bank. Now, that does make it easier to get through those times if you have more money in the bank. Like they say, that saying, well, now I'm going to butcher it because I'm going off script. That story about having a jet skis never made anybody happy, but having money never. I'm not going to butcher. Okay, well, there's no editing in this, so anyway, there's a joke there, but that I didn't get it. So I think if you put the effort. Sorry about that. If you put the effort in, if you honestly put really good effort in, your chances go up. But this again is earth, not heaven. And in this country, I think you have some of the best chance and the best hope to succeed. Are we perfect? Of course not. Do we have things in our history that's not great? Of course we do. Can you name a country that doesn't? So I know a lot of our young people, and again, off script, there's a lot of people bashing this country, but name a country that hasn't done things that they shouldn't have done. I mean, really, um, we're people and we make mistakes again, but be grateful. Look how far we've come in just 245 years. What country has done and accomplished and set out to do some of the things that we've done? And look how the world is trying to emulate us. But if you want better, if you want perfect, again, we're talking about heaven. We're talking about God. So back to the Washington Post. I just want the truth from my newspaper. Not your truth, not my truth, the truth. That's how I came back to the Catholic faith. I lined up all the religion, not all the religions. I lined up religions, and I came to believe that Catholicism was the most logical, that it was more likely to be the truth. Now, from the Washington Post, all I want from you is to report, excuse me, is report the facts. The commentary, give me some perspective. I know there's going to be nuance in there. But if you only give your slant, how can I make a judgment? How can I make an informed decision if all I hear is one side of any issue? Someone, please give me the names of the conservative writers for the Washington Post. And believe me, I know all the names, the sports, I read them all. I have a clue. I have some inkling. I sometimes when you read them, they can give you some of their point of view. But where's the counterpoint in the Post? Is it just the Democratic Party's propaganda arm or what? If their views are so logical, why not allow both voices? Why not allow another point of view to be in the Post? I mean, what's to fear if you're so confident that you have the right way? Why not let the other side come out and let us each be the judge of ourselves? The Washington Post is pretty much the paper de facto in my town. So most of our choices come down to this, and I think this is where this boils down to. Do you believe in God or not? If yes, do you follow what he's revealed? There's politics, there's countries, and then there's God. We're supposed to love God first and our neighbors immediately after that. In the perspective of God, I recognize, do we follow what he's believed? Even I recognize the truth that is revealed in the Catholic Church. Again, that's all we can, there's only so much you can grasp on this end of heaven, on this side of heaven in earth. We can't get it all, but we can get a lot, and we get enough. God gives us enough. He reveals enough to us so that we can come to him. He doesn't make it impossible. Some of the writers in the Post have mentioned their faith. I've tried to research their origins and to see, do they have a Christian understanding? And I do believe that most religions have elements of truth. It's not that. Some have more than others, of course, but all the religions seem to have some commodicum, some part of the truth in what they say, and it have some part of the truth. Your faith should reflect what you say and what you do. So again, back to the Washington Post, to whom I am loyal, reading it for the front page, for the facts, for the sports, etc. Then reading the front page and the editorials with a recognition that most of the content is biased and slanted. I can still get a lot out of that, but I'm still only getting one version. I know all the names of the people, the writers of my paper. I read them all. I'm loyal, remember. But please tell me who the writers are from the other perspective. I want to be fully informed so as to make up my own mind, my own judgment. My being fully informed is the goal of the Washington Post, right? They do want me to be fully informed, right? I'm sure they want me to make a good judgment, not just follow what they say, right? So I'm going to sign this loyal reader, and it's just a little reflection on the way things are going in this country right now. And I have hope, of course. And yeah, so I'd love to be able to unequivocally say, that's why I use that word, who the actual conservative writers are in the Post, because I couldn't tell you right now for sure which ones they are. Thank you.